So today we are going to talk about some of the flight cancellations that are coming about with United's strike, as well as what's going on with some other airlines who are thinking of striking. We're also going to go through a bunch of questions that a cruiser sent me that is brand new to Princess, and so we're going to go through those questions. So let's go ahead and get started. Hi there, this is Allison with Let's Go Travel Tips. Today is Saturday, it is May 13th of 2023, and let's start off talking about airline strikes. So if you've been following along on the news, United Airlines, American Airlines, and Southwest Airlines have been talking about striking. Sounds to me like it's the pilots. So we've been waiting to see what is going to happen with this. So United today started canceling flights due to that strike. American Airlines has voted to strike, but I have not noticed any flights being canceled yet. It's just late morning here as I'm doing this video on Saturday. And then Southwest Airlines has said that they might strike, but I can't find any updates about that. But for sure, United Airlines is canceling flights today. Over on our Facebook group, and as well, several people have sent me emails who have cruises scheduled that their flights were on United and they're having a hard time being able to get where they need to go. I felt really bad. I want to share this so that you will know kind of how this is handled. We've got Let's Go family members who on Facebook said that they were flying in just today, the day of their cruise. It was supposed to depart today. Their flight was this morning, and the flight was canceled with United. They hurried up and got flights on American, had to get through security. Like they said, only one person was working, so they're running down the concourse there, and they're almost to the flight, and the guy shuts the door anyway. You can see them coming, shuts the door anyway, so I don't know what that's all about. But anyway, they did not make it on the flight. Incidentally, their luggage did. In spite of that rule that people have to be on the same airplane with their luggage. Anyway, so then they called Princess EZAir. They were booked with Princess EZAir, and Princess EZAir said, there are no flights that we can get you up to Ketchikan to meet the ship. This is also due to the cancellations, apparently, and the cancellations of the flights. And so they said, you're going to need to talk to Princess about a refund. So here they thought they were going to go on a 2-week cruise to Alaska, and now due to those flight cancellations, they're not going to be able to do that. So a couple of things that I want you to keep in mind about this. Number one, fly in the day before your cruise. Fly in the day before your cruise. Fly in the day before your cruise. I don't make exception to that anymore. Before COVID, I would have, the very first time we went on a cruise, I didn't know that rule. We flew in the day our Alaska cruise went out of Seattle. Luckily, it worked out just fine. But truly, since the cruising restart, since COVID, when flights have started again, there have been more cancellations and unexpected delays, I think, than any of us would have ever suspected would have happened before COVID. So that is a real deal these days. And so fly in the day before. And I'm not giving anybody grief that doesn't fly in the day before. I have just received enough emails from people that are missing their cruises because they don't fly in the day before. They don't have any wiggle room. And so that's my take-home message on that. And we all learn together. There are so many things I've still got to learn and figure out to do better so that things go smoothly in my life. So I'm not throwing rocks at all at anyone. So there's that. And then also have in your mind a backup plan. Another thing that Let's Go family members got to Seattle. Their cruise departs from Vancouver tomorrow. So today they were able to hire, I couldn't tell quite if it's a car service or a shuttle, but they are going to be able to make it to Vancouver to get on their cruise tomorrow. So have in your mind a backup plan. I know that Amtrak, I even looked up the schedule. Amtrak regularly goes between Seattle and Vancouver. They have several trips every day. Just go to amtrak.com and you can see the schedule. So have that as a backup in your mind, and be aware that the Amtrak station in Vancouver, if you're trying to get between Seattle and Vancouver, it is not very far. It's just over a mile. I want to say like 2 kilometers. And so you can, once you get there, you can just catch a taxi or an Uber, or if you really need to, you can walk and then pick up, change your reservation so that you can have a reservation in Vancouver. Well, I guess you wouldn't have to change it. You were supposed to be in Vancouver, but just keep in mind, the other thing I would say is these days you can book hotel rooms that cost a little bit less if they're non-refundable. So what you do is you book the hotel room and you pay for it. And then if you choose the lower rate and it's clear, then you had better be there or else you're not going to get your money back. Gordon and I just always book the refundable because you never know what life holds. And so that's a thing to think of too with all of these flight issues. But fly in a day early and just be aware. So so those of you that have got a United flight booked like tomorrow or in the near future to go on a cruise, call Princess EZAir if it's booked that way and find out what else you can do. Get a different airline. I'll let you manage your own life with that, but be aware that things are changing and that those strikes seem to be moving forward. And I'll keep you up to date with it. We can talk about it on Monday and see where we stand there, but just be aware of that. Now, and you know what, if you booked with Princess EZAir and it is more than 45 days from when you fly to go on your cruise, you can adjust your ticket. And so if you're flying in the day of your cruise, you might want to think about changing that. Just do whatever you would like, but I wanted to let you know about that. So we have got cruisers who are members of our Let's Go family who are first time on Princess. I am not sure if they are first time cruisers overall, but they are first time cruisers on Princess. And so I want to go through some of the questions that they submitted. They are really valuable questions. I know that so often I skip over some things in my mind because I don't stop enough to sometimes think that maybe everybody doesn't know that about going on a cruise. So I want to go ahead and answer these questions. Like I said, I want all of you to jump in with your comments. Let us know what your experience has been. Let us know if I forgot to say something about anything. So let's go ahead and get started. So they're going to be on the Grand Princess to Alaska this summer. They're doing a cruise tour. And first off, they have booked the Princess Plus package with their cruise. They got it for everyone in their cabin. They are taking their teenage children with them, which how fun is that? And so everybody has got that Plus package. Now you might remember that it was I think you had to book, it was sometime in December, I want to say the 13th, but I could be wrong, that you had to book your Princess cruise if you wanted the old Princess Plus package. It was $50 a day. The new Princess Plus package is $60 a day, and they did add some amenities to that list when they increased the price. So anyway, if you paid that $50 and you booked before then, which these people did do, then you have to go ahead and you only receive on your cruise what was included in that Plus package at that time. If you want to receive what is included in the current Plus package, then you need to pay the difference. It's $10 a day per person, and you can either do that before your cruise. These people booked with a travel agent. You ask your travel agent to do it for you, or if you want to and then they're not doing their job, you can call Princess and see if they'll let you do it that way. And then finally, if that doesn't work, you can do it right when you get on the ship. Like on the first day, go down there and upgrade so that you can start enjoying it right away. Now, the things that they added that I think a lot of people would want to make sure they can get are the juice bar is new, the exercise classes are new, those princess desserts are new. You get to have your medallion sent to you free of charge. Those are a really big deal, and they talk about nicer smoothies, things like this. And so if you want that, just go ahead and upgrade. The other big thing that goes with that is the price of the drinks that are included in the package. With the old package, they covered beverages up to $12 a day, and now the new Plus package covers beverages up to $15 a day. And so if you want, first of all, it's important that you know that different ships are applying that differently. Some of the ships, if you've got even the old Plus package, they'll include all the drinks up to $15. Some of them don't, and you have to pay the difference. So if you have the package and it covers it up to $12 a day, and you buy a drink that is $15, then you pay that extra $3 for that drink. All right, you don't have to pay the whole amount. And so I wanted to let you know that's how it works. If you want the next level, just go ahead and upgrade before you go or right when you board the ship. Alrighty. Now, the next thing, it says, how does the prince... Oh, wait, I just already covered that for you. And then as far as excursions, so the other day... I talked to you about how the excursions work. I'll give you a quick recap here. when you before you book your cruise, clear up until a week before you sail, you can book your excursions. If you change your mind about your excursion, you just cancel it and book another one if you want another one, and they just credit the money back to your credit card. It's no big deal. Now, once you get in within that 1 week window, you have to wait until you're on board the ship to cancel an excursion or to book a new excursion. So when you arrive in your cabin on embarkation day or later in that day, there will be an envelope on your desk that has all of the tickets for your transfers, if you've got a transfer at the end of the cruise, and it'll also have tickets for all of your excursions. If you want to make any changes, you just go down to the shore excursion desk and turn in the tickets for whatever you want to cancel, and at the same time you can make any new reservations for excursions while you're on board the ship, and they'll give you the new tickets. Now, what if you are on a port that you are going to have to do the water taxi, or the tender, as they call it? So on your ticket, it will tell you for your excursion where to meet. And the way Princess does it is, if you have an excursion that you're going to be using the tender, the water taxi, to get over to the land to start your excursion, they tell you it's usually to meet in the Princess Theater. If it's not in the Princess Theater, it'll be in one of the main dining rooms. You meet there and you go as a group to get on the tender, and then you get off the tender and start your excursion that way. You don't have to worry about getting other tender tickets, having a tender ticket. Nope, you just go to your meeting place with your tickets, and that is where you start your excursion, basically. All right. Now, if you are in a port that has that is going to be a tender port, so that you have to use the water taxi to get there, and you don't have an excursion booked, then they will announce that morning that you can go ahead and get tickets for the water taxi, and then we just sit down and wait in like a public area, and when they call for those tickets, then you can go down and get on the water taxi. Okay. And if it gets to be that's like when you want to get off first thing in the morning, but be aware you're going to have to wait until the people who are on the excursion get to go first, and the people who are elite get to go first, that are lined up and want to go. So if you're elite, they have a place that you're going to meet, and then they will put you on tenders as they can earlier, before they put everybody else on tenders. They basically kind of make the elite go and the excursion people go to be on time, and then they fit everybody else in. If you've been in port a couple of hours and you want to go on a tender and go in, you just go down to whatever deck it is that you're supposed to do, and they do announce that deck 4, whatever, go down there and you can get on a tender. You don't have to have a ticket, you don't have to wait a long time. So if you though are in a port that you want to get off early, first thing in the morning, and you are not elite, book an excursion. Santorini is the one that always comes to my mind right off, because I love Santorini, and I've never cruised to Santorini being elite, and so we always book an excursion to get off the ship. And Princess has really good itineraries for their excursions, and they've got one that will just get you off, take you over to Ia, and then it'll take you over to Fira, and those are the main cities there on the island. And Ia is the one that has the best views when you think of Santorini, with the white domed churches, and or the white churches with blue domes. Anyway, it's so beautiful there. But anyway, that way you get off early. And if you are over in Ia and you want to stay in Ia, they have a bus that runs between the two, taxis run between the two, or if you want a really long walk, sometimes people walk. But anyway, if you want to stay there, you can just ditch the rest of the excursion and spend your day in Ia, and then take the shuttle over. But Fira is beautiful too. Lots of views there. But anyway, sorry I get distracted. I just get so excited. But you can go ahead and I would get off early, and then you've got your whole day to do whatever you want to do. All right. So that's just a tip. But so let's see. Did I do anything about that? So if you have a Princess excursion booked, you don't have to worry about getting back to the ship at the right time if your excursion takes you the whole time. All right. Some excursions, they end back at the ship. Some excursions end in town or whatever, and then you can walk back to the ship, or if you want to, you can get a taxi to go back to the ship. But they always are really clear about how that works. Be really clear, everyone, when you get off the ship, that you know what time the all aboard is. Usually all aboard is a half an hour before the sailing time, but sometimes they sail early. They don't sail earlier than that all aboard time, but then sometimes they sail early, especially if everybody's on. But if they are tight on time, then you better be back by all aboard. That is one nice thing about booking a Princess excursion. If you have any other questions about that, let me know. When it comes to using transfers with Princess and you're going, that was another question here. If you're booked in a Princess hotel, they are going to pick you up at the airport. They're going to take you to the Princess Hotel. Then the next day they'll take you from the Princess Hotel down to the ship. When they pick you up at the airport and take you over to the Princess Hotel, they'll let you know what time to be ready, that the shuttle is going to leave in the morning to take you over to the ship. They'll just let you know then. If you are going to use a Princess transfer and you're going to do your own arrangements, like go to a hotel close to the airport, come back in the morning, I always am just so excited to get on the ship. We're there early. I don't get there after 9 o'clock, but when you look at your travel summary and your itinerary, it'll have information that will tell you what time the last transfer goes. All right, I have always seen that on ours, and it'll tell you what time to be there by. I can't remember what time they are for Seattle, but I could look and see what Holland America says, because we're going to do that. We're going to fly in the night before our Alaska cruise in a couple of weeks. We're going to stay at a hotel, come back to the ship the next morning, and hop on the Holland America transfer. It just works so smoothly for us. We enjoy it. Plus, I love to get on the bus with everybody, because it's like, I'm probably the most excited one there, but I'm so excited that we're on our way. We've got people who are going to be on the cruise. It's just fun to me. So anyway, but definitely get there early in the morning. Don't be late getting there. It's usually first come, first serve. So whoever comes first gets on the first shuttle. And so that's a lot of fun. But at the same time, don't be late getting there so that you don't miss it, because part of it depends on how far the travel is from the airport to the port. Alrighty, so want to make sure you all know about that. Now they have also made a next question here is, and you know what, your transfer tickets will be in, for your transfer after the cruise, will be in that envelope with your excursion tickets. Okay, and when you collect your luggage, and then you get off the ship, they'll have people directing you to the transfer, the bus. You don't have to worry about that. They will make sure that you're in the right place. Okay, so don't worry about that. Now, our Let's Go family members, they've made reservations in the main dining room and some specialty dining with the full expectation that they will be there on time. But if they are late getting there, they are wondering if there's a penalty for missing your reservation time. So when you are on the app, you can make, like they said, reservations for the specialty dining and for the main dining room. There's not a penalty for missing the main dining room. If you want to cancel it really quickly so someone else can pick it up if they want to, I always try to do that if we aren't able to show up, but there is no penalty at all. And if you have if your reservation's at 7 o'clock and you just got back on the ship and you don't make it there till 7:15 or 7:30, you can still eat dinner. Okay. Be aware of that. With specialty dining, you should keep your appointment. And if you're not going to be able to make it, you need to cancel it, definitely, because there's enough limited availability with that also that someone else can pick that up, because there's often, so you can't book your dining until you make final payment if you're not platinum or elite. And so a lot of people get on the ship and they are waiting for those reservations to open up. So if you're not going to be able to make it, just go ahead and cancel your specialty dining reservation. They mentioned that they have got reservation to eat in all three main dining rooms. So when you, like on the Grand Princess, you think of the three main dining rooms, I really like to try out all the main dining rooms because they all have a little bit different decor. It's kind of fun to see them. And inevitably, you're going to eat dinner in one of them one evening and you're going to just love it a little extra. Maybe it'll be that the wait staff is the best. Maybe you get a really good table by the window, or you appreciate the decor in there even a little bit more. Whenever we eat in one and we have really good wait staff, then we ask to sit in their section every night because it's really nice, and then we give them a good tip at the end. It's just a really nice way to have a lovely experience at dinner, and just throwing that out there. But no, I don't think one of them is better than the other. All of the meals come from the same kitchen, so you won't get better food in one than the other. So, and I like to think that you'll have a lovely experience and wait staff every time. So yeah, I think it's it's really nice to try all the main dining rooms. Now, they're also going to do their land tour portion after the cruise. And so if anybody has any advice on the land portion, the Princess Lodges, trains, buses, all of that kind of thing, let us know. Put that in the comments. I have not done a Princess Land, like a cruise tour yet with the land tour part of it. We just dragged our feet a little bit too much this year to do that. It's on my list maybe for next year. We'll kind of see. But anyway, I do know an awful lot about it though. And so, but I have not experienced it firsthand. So if anybody's got any advice, tips firsthand, go ahead and put them there. I do know that some of the tours, like the Natural History Tour to Denali National Park, is not to be missed. I do know that when you're on the train that you get to sit there on the top portion where it is glass, and then if you want to eat, you go downstairs. Let's see. Princess includes that, by the way, for everybody on the top. That's not considered extra. You get to sit in that the glass dome train and enjoy your trip there. There are meal packages that come with a lot of the Princess Cruise tours, but not all of them. And I'm not exactly sure why they don't come with all of them, but there are some that they don't come with. Everyone without fail talks about how expensive food is in Alaska, whether you were on a cruise tour or you were somewhere else. And so you might want to take a look at the meal plan that goes with your cruise tour, because they include different meals, like 3 breakfasts, 2 lunches, 1 dinner, something like that. It varies a little bit. And then there's a price that goes with it. They do have, otherwise you can just pay for your meal every time you eat in the lodge or wherever it is that you decide you want to eat. Some of the areas have places that you can eat otherwise and maybe save a little bit of money that way. But as far as, you might want to look at the meal package if you're someone that likes all the meals. I've said before, like, I would never pay for a package that has 3 breakfasts and 2 lunches and a dinner, because I don't eat breakfast generally. And so, look at the meal plans to go with your cruise. Other than that, I'll do a video about what you do with your luggage when you're on a cruise tour, because that's a little bit different. You don't just do the thing like you think of with the transfer, where all of your luggage goes under the bus and then you get there and you pull it out and you take it in. It's a little bit different. So I'll do a video about that. Another thing, they're talking about Starlink, and we had received news that they were working on Starlink on the Grand Princess, but I have not received word from anyone that it is up and working. So if you're on a ship, let us know if they've got the Starlink up and working. They are eagerly waiting to see if it's up. They're worried that their kids, and I get this with teenagers or children in any age, and even me, I've done this before. You turn on your cellular data when you're off the ship in the port, and then you get back on and forget to turn it off. I've done that before. What it does is it logs you into cellular at sea, and if you do anything with your phone during that time, then you're going to have charges that go with it, and they're expensive. And so I would just say you have really just got to remind yourself, your children, your husband, wife, whoever, remind whoever you're sailing with to get their phone back on airplane mode. And you know what? It doesn't matter if you've got Starlink. The ship has Wi-Fi anyway. And so whether you're on Starlink or regular Wi-Fi, you got to get your phone back on airplane mode. So remember that. And so yeah, there's really not a difference there. I am anxious to hear about Starlink though. Alrighty, so Princess EZAir. So what happened to them was, so say you make final payment for your cruise. That's generally 90 days out. You can still tweak your flights up to 45 days out. All right. And if you do that, say the price goes down, which is what happened in this instance. So they repriced their tickets, and they were supposed to get a refund of $760 refunded back to their credit card. It has been a month, and they still have not seen that come back onto their credit card. If this happens to you, ask your travel agent to track it down. If you don't have a travel agent, call Princess and ask them where your refund is. Definitely. But be aware of that rule, and clear until you're 45 days out. Like I would say 46, because on that 45th day, don't do it that day. Clear until you are just before that 45 days out. You can make any changes that you want to. Be aware as you do that if it goes up, you don't have to pay the increased price. But if it goes down and you want to take advantage of that, you can do it. But you're going to have to watch it. There's not a thing in the system that follows flights every day to see where they are. Alrighty. So yes, that money should come back directly to the credit card that you paid with it. And the only time that I can think of that it wouldn't is if you have a travel agent and the money goes through them instead of going through Princess or whatever cruise line it is. The Dream Vacations that I'm associated with, your money goes straight to the cruise line. All right. Every time I enter a payment from somebody, I enter it directly into Princess website or into Holland America or Celebrity. It goes directly to them. So your credit card payment will show on your credit card statement that it is from that cruise line. And then if there's a refund, it just goes straight back to you. The only thing that I could think of is if you're not getting your refund back is if your travel agency does something different with the money and you might have to ask them for it back. So that is just a heads up with that. Let's see, Movies Under the Stars. They were wondering about Movies Under the Stars. So Movies Under the Stars, if you're not familiar, up on the pool deck on Princess, they have those huge screens. They call the Movie Under the Stars screen, and they're really fun. So during the daytime, sometimes they just have pictures rotating through. Sometimes they'll have a movie during the daytime. Sometimes they show concerts, and they show a wide range of concerts. They'll do it from like, I remember on our last cruise, the last or not too long last, it was like Sting. One time when my daughter and I were sailing out of Montenegro, we were up on the top decks and it was so beautiful all the way around us. If you have sailed in or out of there, you know it's beautiful. And I don't know how many of you are familiar, but they had this concert on that actually had Il Divo and Andre Bocelli singing as well, and it was just so beautiful. But anyway, so they'll do concerts at different times, but it always shows, and movies. Like I said, sometimes there'll be a movie during the daytime, and there'll be a movie at night. And on the Princess Patter, it will tell you the name of the movie and what time it is. They're usually, I want to say, at 7 and maybe 9 or 7 and 9:30, something like that. But then they also will show up in your app, so you can see in both places. But be aware that you go up there, and in the evening, Princess takes all of those beach chair loungers, they face them towards the screen, and they put these cushions on them with fabric on them. It's just lovely. It's soft. It's nice to sit on. And then they will also have blankets available. If you want to, just go get a blanket. You don't have to give them you don't have to swipe your medallion or anything. You just go get the blanket, put it over you if it's a little bit chilly. They have popcorn that you can go get. Of course, there's a bar right there, so you can get drinks. There's pizza right there if you want to get pizza. They've got the grill right there. If you want a hamburger or a hot dog or tacos, French fries, you can get it and just enjoy it while you're watching your movie. I think it's wonderful. I love Movies Under the Stars, and even more so in a warm place. But and you don't have to make a reservation. If you're particular about where you sit, get up there, especially since these sailings are cruising like at full capacity. So definitely go a little bit early and get the loungers where you would like to sit. But it's really nice the way they do it. They're reclined just a little bit, not too far, but enough that you can still see good. And you can even go up on the deck so those are like around the pool, and here's the Movies Under the Stars. You can go up a deck and there's loungers around there too, and you can enjoy the movie that way. You can see it really good. So Movies Under the Stars is wonderful. Now, it says they have bookmark. They bookmark shows and events on the app, which they understand is not a reservation, but how are the live band, comedians, and other lounge entertainment times and venues communicated? Those will show up. They will populate everything that goes on board on the ship, populates in your app. Once you're on board the ship, you'll get to see a little bit before, but you'll get to see everything once you're on board the ship, and you can see the time for everything. And just go early. Like I always tell you, those aren't reservations when you click on it, like these people know, but definitely go early to get a good seat, especially in the smaller venues, because they can fill up really fast. So be aware of that. And then the paper, the Princess Patter, is it on paper or on the app? It's both. The Princess Patter is really just the schedule of events for the day. One thing I really do like is on the back, they'll usually finish the schedule there, but they'll also list like all of the bars and all the restaurants, like what time the main dining room is open for, which one is open at lunchtime, and the hours, and just the hours for everything. It's really handy if you're wondering what time things close, if you want to make sure you get somewhere before it closes. So I really like that part. I have not seen that on the app. I will look for it the next time I'm on a Princess cruise and see if they have updated that, and they they list everything with all of the times that they're open. But and they will automatically give you a paper patter every evening. Your room steward will leave it for you, so it's really handy. So you can do both. And truly, I use both. I like to have the paper copy, but when I'm out and about, I often just look at my phone for the app. Now, here's a question, and I want lots of you to chime in on it. It's, do you have to have your room serviced, or can you go the full time without someone entering your room? So there's a few reasons that I don't know why people ask this. So first of all, if you are doing it so that you don't have to pay the gratuities, be aware that those gratuities go to way more than your room steward. Then it trickles down to everybody that helps take care of everything, all right, that for the experience that you enjoy while you're on the ship. So I think it's really important to pay gratuities. And so if that's what you're thinking, there's my answer to that. If you just don't like the idea of somebody in your cabin, you could ask them. If I owned a cruise ship, I would want somebody to check on what's going on in rooms at least a couple of times during a week, just to make sure that everything was okay. That's the funny side of me. But if you really don't want somebody to service your cabin, I bet you can tell them that you don't want them to. When I think of going for a whole week, it's really lovely. They make your bed, they bring you fresh towels. It is just lovely. They'll vacuum, they empty your trash, because like going a whole week without emptying your trash, that's going to be a long time. But yeah, you could ask if you really don't like that option. But other than that, I just think it's lovely to have someone servicing my room. So if anybody has any experience with that, let us know. I did notice when we were on the Norwegian breakaway the last week of January, the people next door to us had their do not disturb on all the time. All the time. It did not matter what time of the day or evening we went in or out our cabin door, the do not disturb was on. So I don't think that their cabin got serviced. So I don't know why. It just is interesting. So there's that. So yeah, please do share about that. And then they have heard about breakfast room service ordering on a cart at your door. Is this the case, or do you just order in Ocean Ready? So they have these little cards that you hang on your door. They're like about this, and your room steward will give you one to start. And if you have it hung outside, you fill it out and you put it outside your door, and they will pick it up. I think it usually has to be out there by midnight. Then they'll come along and pick it up. I think that is an excellent way to get your breakfast because they've got your order in advance, and when you do it, you actually select the time interval that you want it delivered. Do you want it delivered from 6 to 6:15, 6:15 to 6:30, and so on? So I think that is definitely the best way to get your breakfast in a timely manner, especially if you're doing it on a port day and you're thinking, okay, I've got to be, I want to be down there to get off the ship at 8 o'clock or to my excursion, and you're planning out your food. Then you don't order it in the morning on your app or on the Stateroom TV or call, and you're sitting there for an hour longer than you thought you were going to be because everybody on the ships wants their breakfast to their cabin. So definitely order it that way is what I would say. Now, they have several things that you can select from, and it's things like, if you want your cereal or you want a breakfast sandwich, you want croissants or rolls, coffee or hot chocolate, all of these things. I don't know if hot chocolate is still on the list or if I had to write that down. But anyway, they have a list of things that you can choose from. When Code 4 for Life was just on, they wrote in that they wanted... am I right thinking they wrote in they wanted steak and eggs, and they got delivered eggs and sausage? And so you can put something else on there if you want to, but I definitely say order with that. And your room steward, ours has always been really good to give us a new one every day. That's part of, like, we come in after they've serviced our cabin, we've got a new one of those in the evening once they do your turn down service, which is just refluffing your room, cleaning up again. If you took a shower before dinner, you've got fresh towels and everything is set up nice again. Your trash is emptied. If you spilled if you dropped any crumbs, they vacuumed it up. Also, your princess platter will be sitting there on the bed for you. It works out really nice. But the new door hanger, they'll give you one every day. And if they don't, you can ask them for it. Let's see. And I'll just add, I book way more than cruises. I also do book land tours. Wanted to throw that out there because they asked that question, and just wanted to tell you that. But if you all have anything that you want to add, anything that you think would be of benefit for them to know, and even more importantly, any other questions that you've got, anything that I have missed telling you about, please do ask the questions in the comments or send me an email. I'm also going to reply to these people, but I thought if they're wondering, I think a lot of you are probably wondering as well. So I will do my best to share more information with you about what to be ready for when you go on a cruise, and especially on a Princess cruise. And if you have not subscribed, please do subscribe. We really do need you here with us. And I am really grateful to all of you who have subscribed. Thank you. Thank you for your thumbs up. And if you do appreciate these updates, would you please give this video a thumbs up? I will be talking to you all again really soon. You all take really good care. God bless you. Love you. Bye-bye.